3,000 years later.
When worlds collide, you can run.
12 seconds
When
later.
worlds collide, you'll laugh so hard, you'll swear you died. When worlds collide, hold my hand, I'll be your guide. When worlds collide, buckle up for the tweet it's right, and prepare to have your mind blown wide. When worlds collide, when worlds collide.
Meanwhile,
When worlds collide, it's a curious thing. Bet you never heard a robot and a caveman sing. In his metal chest are some working parts. How is that different from my beat in art?
later.
I'm from the future,
And I'm from the past.
but that don't mean this printer wasn't built to last.
It was made in a lab and I was born in a cave. So let me hear you howling for this inter-airway rave.
Buckle up for this. We did right.
Who can I?
When worlds collide. Buckle up for this. We did right.
Who can I?
You can run.
But no can I?
When worlds collide.
Later, in the void.
He's not here. No more SpongeBob. No more. I may finally have found a place where I can be all alone. You can run.
But no can I?
When worlds collide.
Loser.
What follows is a brief
Don't worry, buddy. You're doing fine.
有言しよう。
Join me for an adventure, oh, much like any other, with twists and turns and plot devices, words and wonder. Now my advice is listen close. What makes this story different is the teller and the told. This one's ours and it's waiting to unfold. So come be merry with me. Yeah. Oh, come be merry with me. Come on, be merry with me. Join me for an adventure, oh, much like any other, with twists and turns and plot devices, words and wonder. Now my advice is listen close. What makes this story different is the teller and the told. This one's ours and it's waiting to unfold. Hey, how's it going? I am the merriest of Mitches, and I appear before you right now. Heck yeah, P-dubs. I'm glad you're having a good start to the weekend, or a good start to the week. My bad. Oh yes, it is story time. At an appropriate time too. It's towards the end of the day for me, so I'm ready to read a little story and then hit the hay. Oh, thank you. It's got a little poof at the top. I'm very fond of it. This hat's been with me through a lot too. Gotta be honest. Yeah, I've had this hat for a long as heck time. It's a good one. I'm glad you like it. All that to say, I'm glad you like it. Let's see, my day has been pretty okay. You know, I got up at a decent hour. I had some, this therapy thing this morning, which was nice. It was a really small group today, though. A lot of the guys wound up not showing up, which was, you know, a little sorry to see, but regardless, I was glad the shrinks and whatnot were there. That was a few months ago. Oh, I lost my cherished old hat, nearly drowning while kayaking in a stream. Yikes, only a few months. Cherished? Cherished means, well-loved, you know? Something that you love a lot is a cherished item. For instance, I cherish you two. My super rad audience. Oh. Yeah, man. Honest to goodness, I'm sorry about that cherished hat. I lost something like that as well. Wound up getting a replacement hat for it, but it just doesn't feel the same. It's this hat with like a Pokemon print all over it. Used to be my buddy, Danny Boy, Daniel and I's, kind of best friend hat growing up. But I went and lost it. So I bought a replacement, but again, like I said, it just wasn't the same. You know, it was kind of like a best friend bracelet, but with a hat. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Let's see. To finish, dude, I know all these cherished hats. You know, hey, if you're watching this right now and you've had a loss recently, you know, the loss of a cherished hat, I just know I feel for you and I'm here for you. All right? This is, and I'm being honest. It's a sucky thing to lose a hat, especially one that you like a lot. What does May cherish? Friendship hat is greater than friendship bracelet. I don't know. I think I would like either, but I will say our friendship hat was the bomb. The bomb. Let's see. So the rest of the day was spent well, I kind of like lazed around for a little bit. You know, did that thing where I crawled back into bed and watched YouTube videos from my bed back there. Dude, I'm entirely forthright with you guys, or you know, I don't really hold anything back on the channel. I genuinely, like, I lazed around for like a solid hour today. But I got up afterwards, felt a little bit better actually, and worked on the mix for the Percy Jackson song, finished the mix, and moved it on to the mastering stage, which I'm pretty proud about that. I'm excited. Tomorrow morning, I believe I'm gonna be, so long as the plans don't fall through, I'm crossing my fingers. But I have I'm meeting up with my buddy. I'll call him Jafando. Yes, Jafando. My buddy Jafando. And I are gonna be going out and recording some footage for the Percy Jackson song. I'm gonna be doing a video behind it, so I'm gonna go out and hopefully get some good footage with him. Hopefully get all the rest of the footage that we need. Jafando, heck yeah. He's a good friend. Not sure where Jafando came from, but hey, you know. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully, and I think I'm gonna finish up the master after I hop off tonight. And I'm gonna get that recorded tomorrow and hopefully edit up the video pretty quick. You phone though? Huh? Yeah, the Percy Jackson song is almost finished. I have a title for it now. It's gonna be called Yup, You're a Demigod. The title of the song is Yup, You're a Demigod. Pretty good stuff. Mainly cause like right before one of the drops, like the first initial drop, I put in that quote where he's like, "Yup, you're a demigod." Yeah, that's where I got the title, and I'm sticking to it. Darn it. Heck yeah, it's a good thing. I'm really liking how it's turning out. If you liked the When Worlds Collide remix that I did, you'll definitely like this new one that I'm doing. but yeah. So that's what's happening tomorrow. I didn't finish what happened today though. After I finished lazing around, did some work on the song, I went to practice. You know, my tumbling and trampoline practice, which was good, but I wound up straining my injury, my ankle injury, again. So that hurts, and I'm planning on doing flips and stuff in the video tomorrow. So I'm a little bit worried. Hopefully my ankle will be fully ready to go again tomorrow. I don't know if that's gonna be the case or not. Even if it's not, I know of some. I at least know of some things that I can do for the shots and whatnot. But yeah, so that kind of sucks. That was the only sucky thing that happened at practice, though. The rest was pretty cool. I will say I was struggling, you know, hitting my ankle again like that brought down my mood a bit. And I did that thing where I tried my best not to show it. You know, still put on a smile and whatnot when I was truly feeling the moodiness. But I don't know. My mood actually did kind of improve as things went along. You know, I wasn't able to do as much at practice, but it gave me more time to like chat with my teammates, which is cool. You thought you were saying your phone though, but you were saying Jafando. Ah, I see. Yeah, man, that happens all the time with Jafando and I. I'll be like, yo, Jafando. And he'll be like, did you say your phone though? What about your phone? What was that, Mitch? Oh, Jafando. Heck yeah. And now I'm back. I had a little dinner, and now I started the stream. And now it's story time, baby. Let's see. Time for the recap. So May, gonna throw this out there. It's spoilerino time. Hey, what's up, Great Kazoo? How you doing? What's the day been like for you? Did you wake up with a smile? Was it did you wake up with a grump? With a grump in your step, or a pep in your step? One of the two. Or maybe an entirely different emotion in your step. I have no idea. I always wake up with a smile. Dang, man, that's some good stuff. Great Kazoo. I am, funnily enough, that came up in my therapy thing today, where this is gonna sound really sad, but listen, I think I can do it. But I want to get back to the days where I wake up with a smile. You know, I've been having a lot of nightmares at night, and so it's harder for me to get to bed recently, and I don't sleep nearly as well. So waking up, it's been hard to wake up with a smile. I want to get back to that. Nightmare. Oh no. I know, man. It's been frighteningly consistent too. I haven't had like a string of nightmares like this in a long time. I think it's being brought on by stress, but I don't know entirely. Regardless, that's something for me to worry about and to figure out. But that's freaking really cool to hear, Great Kazoo. I want you to keep doing your best to continue to wake up with a smile. I know at the end of each stream, I do my best to to ask you guys to take the merriment, set you at ease as you lay your head on your pillow, and then when you wake up, Let it bring a smile to your face. Alright, sorry, I finished what I was saying. Welcome, Raiders! What's poppin'? What's shimmin' and shammin'? What is hippity happening? What is scootin' to bootin'? You know? Pippity poppin'. Thanks, Lucas. I appreciate that that you would think to raid me, my man. Honest to goodness, anytime I get a raid, it warms my heart. It warms this little merry heart of mine. How's everybody doing? Are we feeling merry? How's the day been? And Lucas, how's your stream? Was it hippity happening? I'm hoping it was fun. Monday's always dead, but it was fine. Snap. Well, I don't know. Mondays vary for me, but it certainly helps when you bring so many lovely folks over. We're playing Don't Starve casually now. Heck yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, again. Like I would seriously like that. I think playing some Don't Starve would be cool. I never quite got into the game all that much, but I think I could. And I played it once before with a friend, and it was a pretty fun time. There was a fun time to be had in that game. So you're actually just in time. I was just now getting into the recap of what happened last time on The Lost Hero. So hey guys, just so you know, like this is a pretty chill stream where I legitimately the thing that happens here is I read you a bedtime story. If you happen to enjoy the sound of my voice and are looking for a relaxing time, then I encourage you to stick around. And this is the portion where I give you the update on what happened last time on Dragon Ball Z. on Dragon Heroes. See, dang, I was trying to combine Dragon Ball and the Heroes of Olympus somehow. If any of you guys have a way to do that, please throw it at me. Spoilery no time, but hey, have a fun time, everyone. See you till next break. Right on, May. I appreciate you being here for the start, and I look forward to seeing you at the break. What are we combining? Dragon Demi Z. Now we're talking. Last time on Dragon Demi Z. The Z stands for Zeus. A. No, but let me see. We last left off with Piper being claimed by the goddess represented by the dove, the goddess of love, and she was not only just claimed, but she was claimed in a particular way that doesn't happen very often. Normally they get a darn sigil above their head, right, that kind of blazes up and says, hey, this kid right here, son and daughter of whomever. But Piper, the way that Aphrodite claimed her was she transformed her outfit into that of something almost Helen of Troy-esque, right? This gorgeous white gown, this gold glittering across her neck, and her hair done up and makeup flawless, and yeah, everyone was kind of taken aback, especially Jason. Piper was freaked out. She was probably the least pleased by this, as she's not one to, I don't know, to be too into makeup and getting all dolled up. But the way Chiron talked about this transformation, he said it grimly, where he said, "Hail Piper McLean, daughter of Aphrodite." But he said it in a grim manner. And it's still unclear. Chiron knows so much more than he's letting on, and it's because of some oath or something that he has agreed to that forces him to not say anything about what is happening. Annabeth is upset with Chiron because Chiron has never kept anything from Annabeth before, but he's holding back and leaving it to these demigods to figure things out. The most he can say, though, is to confirm Jason's worry that he doesn't belong at Camp Half-Blood, that his being there is in truth some kind of declaration of war, almost. He's not sure why, but he gets that feeling, and it is a powerful feeling. Drew was also in the last in the last read-through. Drew is a dingus. She wants to go with Jason on this little quest to save Hera, the queen of the gods. But, and that's because in the prophecy that Rachel lets on, or speaks out in the oracle voice, it says that Jason will be accompanied by a person from the Hephaestus cabin and a person from the Aphrodite cabin. So of course Drew's like, oh, if I have to, please take me along, Jason. I would love to. But Piper, chimes in and says no. Like there's something that drives her to deny Drew this, and turns out that's because she's a daughter of Aphrodite, being claimed in that very moment. Let's see, did I miss anything else important? I think Piper had some dreams. She dreamed of the big giant guy again. I want to read through the prophecy one more time before we get into this next chapter. But this is the last thing of the recap. The prophecy was, "Child of lightning, beware the earth. The giant's revenge, the seven shall birth. The forging dove shall break the cage, and death unleash through Hera's rage." Unsure what the heck that's about, but has to do with our heroes getting out there and saving Hera. That's the other thing. Leo is a firebender. I think we found that out, not in our last read-through, but the one before that, but that's important to note. He can create fire with his hands, and is fire-proof. And a son or daughter of Hephaestus that has that power hasn't been born in centuries. And whenever they are born, it is said that that is a sign of great oncoming calamity. So good stuff. It appears Leo is a real bad omen. But he's got a plan to help out with the upcoming quest, so hopefully he doesn't screw things up. And we'll see what happens if Piper does go along. How is she gonna betray her two best friends and all of Camp Half-Blood? Yikeroo. Let's figure this stuff out, shall we? This is Percy Jackson. This is not Percy Jackson. Sorry. Freaking did that out of habit. Forgive me. Forgive me, please. My bad. This is The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. 11. Leo. Leo didn't stick around after Piper turned beautiful. Sure, it was amazing and all. She got makeup. It's a miracle. But Leo had problems to deal with. He ducked out of the amphitheater and ran into the darkness, wondering what he'd gotten himself into. He'd stood up in front of a bunch of stronger, braver demigods and volunteered for a mission that would probably get him killed. He hadn't mentioned seeing Tia Claudia, his old babysitter, but as soon as he'd heard about Jason's vision, the lady in the black dress and shawl, Leo knew it was the same woman. Tia Khalida was Era. His evil babysitter was the queen of the gods. Stuff like that could really deep fry your brain. He trudged toward the woods and tried not to think about his childhood, all the messed up things that had led to his mother's death. But he couldn't help it. The first time Tia Khalida tried to kill him, he must have been about 2. Tia Khalida was looking after him while his mother was at the machine shop. She wasn't really his aunt, of course, just one of the old women in the community. A generic Tia, who helped watch the kids. She smelled like a honey-baked ham, and always wore a widow's dress and a black shawl. "Let's set you down for a nap," she said. "Let's see if you are my brave little hero, eh?" Leo was sleepy. She nestled him into his blankets in a warm mound of red and yellow pillows. The bed was like a cubbyhole in the wall, made of blackened bricks, with a metal slot over his head and a square hole far above, where he could see the stars. He remembered nesting and resting comfortably, grabbing at sparks like fireflies. He dozed and dreamed of a boat made of fire, sailing through the cinders. He imagined himself on board, navigating the sky. Somewhere nearby, Tia Khalida sat in her rocking chair. And sang a lullaby. Even at 2, Leo knew the difference between English and Spanish, and he remembered being puzzled because Tia Khalida was singing in a language that was neither. Everything was fine until his mother came home. She screamed and raced over to snatch him up, yelling at Tia Claudia, "How could you?" But the old lady had disappeared. Leo remembered looking over his mother's shoulder at the flames curling around his blankets. Only years later had he realized he'd been sleeping in a blazing fireplace. The weirdest thing? Tia Khalida hadn't been arrested or even banished from their house. She appeared again several times over the next few years. Once when Leo was 3, she let him play with knives. "You must learn your blades early," she insisted, "if you're to be my hero someday." Leo managed not to kill himself, but he got the feeling Tia Khalida wouldn't have cared one way or the other. When Leo was 4, Tia found a rattlesnake for him in a nearby cow pasture. She gave him a stick and encouraged him to poke the animal. "Where is your bravery, little hero? Show me the fates will right to choose you." Leo stared down at those amber eyes, hearing the dry of the snake's rattle. He couldn't bring himself to poke the snake. It didn't seem fair. Apparently the snake felt the same way about biting a little kid. Leo could have sworn it looked at Tia Claudia like, "Are you nuts, lady?" Then it disappeared into the tall grass. The last time she babysat him, Leo was 5. She brought him a pack of crayons and a pad of paper. They sat together at the picnic table in the back of the apartment complex under an old pecan tree. While Tia Kalita sang her strange songs, Leo drew a picture of the boat he'd seen in the flames, with colorful sails and rows of oars, a curved stern, and an awesome masthead. When he was almost done, about to sign his name, the way he'd learned in kindergarten, a wind snatched the picture away. It flew into the sky and disappeared. Leo wanted to cry. He'd spent so much time on that picture. But Tia Kalita just chuckled with disappointment. "It isn't time yet, little hero. Someday, you'll have your quest. You'll find your destiny, and your hard journey will finally make sense. But first, you must face many sorrows. I regret that, but heroes cannot be shaped any other way. Now, make me a fire, eh? Warm these old bones." A few minutes later, Leo's mom came out and shrieked with horror. Tia Kalita was gone, but Leo sat in the middle of a smoking fire. The pad of paper was reduced to ashes. Crayons had melted into a bubbling puddle of multicolored goo, and Leo's hands were ablaze, slowly burning through the picnic table. For years afterward, people in the apartment complex would wonder how someone had seared the impressions of a 5-year-old's hands an inch deep into solid wood. She do be roasting baby Leo. Now, Leo was sure that Tia Kalita, his psychotic babysitter, had been Era all along. That made her, what, his godly grandmother? His family was even more messed up than he realized. He wondered if his mother had known the truth. Leo remembered after that last visit, his mom took him inside and had a long talk with him, but he only understood some of it. "She can't come back again." His mom had a beautiful face with kind eyes and curly dark hair, but she looked older than she was because of hard work. The lines around her eyes were deeply etched. Her hands were calloused. She was the first person from their family to graduate from college. She had a degree in mechanical engineering and could design anything, fix anything, build anything. No one would hire her. No company would take her seriously, so she ended up in the machine shop, trying to make enough money to support the two of them. She always smelled of machine oil, and when she talked with Leo, she switched from Spanish to English constantly, using them like complementary tools. It took Leo years to realize that not everyone spoke that way. She'd even taught him Morse code as a kind of game, so they could tap messages to each other when they were in different rooms. "I love you. You okay?" Simple things like that. Hey, thank you, Justin. I appreciate the follow. Hope you're enjoying the story. I don't care what Claudia says, his mom told him. I don't care about destiny and the fates. You're too young for that. You're still my baby. She took his hands, looking for burn marks, but of course, there weren't any. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate you saying as much. Do you do any voice work yourself? I see the live at the end of your name. Does that mean you stream? I apologize if that's a wrong assumption. But sincerely, thank you, man. You do a bit. Lots of characters. Yes, I am a streamer. Heck, man. Well, hey, if you stick around, during the break, I'd love to talk more. Until then, enjoy the rest of the chapter. She took his hands, looking for burn marks, but of course, there weren't any. Leo, listen to me. Fire is a tool, like anything else, but it's more dangerous than most. You don't know your limits. Please, promise me. No more fire until you meet your father. Someday, mijo, you will meet him. He'll explain everything. Leo had heard that since he could remember anything. Someday, he would meet his dad. His mom wouldn't answer any questions about him. Leo had never met him, never seen any pictures of him. But she talked like he'd just gone to the store for some milk, and he'd be back any minute. Leo tried to believe her. Someday, everything would make sense. For the next couple of years, they were happy. Leo almost forgot about Tia Khalida. He still dreamed of the flying boat, but the other strange events seemed like a dream, too. Gosh dang it, Great Kazoo. Are you cool if I wait till the end of the chapter? We're nearing the end of it. Got about like 4 pages left. Right on. It all came apart when he was 8. By then, he was spending every free hour at the shop with his mom. He knew how to use the machines. He could measure and do math better than most adults. He'd learned to think 3-dimensionally, solving mechanical problems in his head the way his mom did. One night, they stayed late because his mom was finishing a drill bit design she hoped to patent. If she could sell the prototype, it might change their lives. She'd finally get a break. As she worked, Leo passed her supplies and told her corny jokes, trying to keep her spirits up. He loved it when he could make her laugh. She'd smile and say, "Your father would be proud of you, mijo. You'll meet him soon, I'm sure." Mom's workspace was at the very back of the shop. It was kind of creepy at night, because they were the only ones there. Every sound echoed through the dark warehouse, but Leo didn't mind, as long as he was with his mom. If he did wander the shop, they could always keep in touch with Morse code. Whenever they were ready to leave, they had to walk through the entire shop, through the break room, and out to the parking lot, locking the doors behind them. That night, after finishing up, they'd just gotten to the break room when his mom realized she didn't have her keys. That's funny," she frowned. "I know I had them. Wait here, mijo. I'll only be a minute." She gave him one more smile. The last one he'd ever get. And she went back into the warehouse. She'd only been gone a few heartbeats when the interior door slammed shut. Then the exterior door locked itself. "Mom?" Leo's heart pounded. Something heavy crashed inside the warehouse. He ran to the door, but no matter how hard he pulled or kicked, it wouldn't open. "Mom!" Frantically, he tapped a message on the wall. "You okay?" "She can't hear you," a voice said. "She can't hear you," a voice said. Leo turned and found himself facing a strange woman. At first he thought it was Tia Kalita. She was wrapped in black robes, with a veil covering her face. "Oh, thank you for the host, Great Gazoo. I appreciate that." "Tia?" he said. The woman chuckled, a slow, gentle sound, as if she were half asleep. "I am not your guardian, merely a family resemblance." What do you want? Where's my mom?" "Ah, loyal to your mother. How nice. But you see, I have children too. And I understand you will fight them someday. When they try to wake me, you will prevent them. I cannot allow that." I don't know you. I don't want to fight anybody," she muttered like a sleepwalker in a trance. "A wise choice. A wise choice." With a chill, Leo realized the woman was, in fact, asleep. Behind the veil, her eyes were closed, but even stranger, her clothes were not made of cloth. They were made of earth. Dry, black dirt churning and shifting around her. Her pale, sleeping face was barely visible, behind a curtain of dust, and he had the horrible sense that she'd had just risen from the grave. If the woman was asleep, Leo wanted her to stay that way. He knew that fully awake, she would be even more terrible. I cannot destroy you yet, the woman murmured. The fates will not allow it. But they do not protect your mother. And they cannot stop me from breaking your spirit. Remember this night, little hero. When they ask you to oppose me. Leave my mother alone! Fear rose in his throat as the woman shuffled forward. She moved more like an avalanche than a person, a dark wall of earth shifting towards him. And how will you stop me? How will you stop me? She whispered. She walked straight through a table, the particles of her body reassembling on the other side. She loomed over Leo, and he knew she would pass right through him too. He was the only thing between her and his mother. His hands caught fire. A sleepy smile spread across the woman's face, as if she'd already won. Leo screamed with desperation. His vision turned red. Flames washed over the earthen woman, the walls, the locked doors, and Leo lost consciousness. When he awoke, he was in an ambulance. The paramedic tried to be kind. She told him the warehouse had burnt down. His mother hadn't made it out. The paramedic said she was sorry. But Leo felt hollow. He'd lost control, just like his mother had warned. Her death was his fault. Soon the police came to get him. And they weren't as nice. The fire had started in the break room, they said, right where Leo was standing. He'd survived by some miracle, but what kind of child locked the doors of his mother's workplace knowing she was inside and started a fire? Later, his neighbors at the apartment complex told the police what a strange boy he was. They talked about the burnt handprints on the picnic table. They'd always known something was wrong with Esperanza Valdez's son. His relatives wouldn't take him in. His Aunt Rosa called him a Diablo and shouted at the social workers to take him away. So, Leo went to his first foster home. A few days later, he ran away. Some foster homes lasted longer than others. He would joke around, make a few friends, pretend that nothing bothered him. But he always ended up running, sooner or later. It was the only thing that made the pain better. Feeling like he was moving, getting further and further away from the ashes of that machine shop. He'd promised himself he would never play with fire again. He hadn't thought about Tia Kalita or the sleeping woman wrapped in earthen robes for a long time. He was almost to the woods when he imagined Tia Kalita's voice. "It wasn't your fault, little hero. Our enemy wakes. It's time to stop running." Hera, Leo muttered. "You're not even here, are you? You're in a cage somewhere." There was no answer. But now, at least, Leo understood something. Hera had been watching him his entire life. Somehow she'd known that one day she would need him. Maybe those fates she mentioned could tell the future. Leo wasn't sure. But he knew he was meant to go on this quest. Jason's prophecy warned them to beware the earth, and Leo knew it had something to do with that sleeping woman in the shop, wrapped in robes of shifting dirt. "You will find your destiny," Tia Kalita had promised. "And your hard journey will finally make sense." Leo might find out what that flying boat in his dreams meant. He might meet his father, or even get to avenge his mother's death. But first things first. He'd promised Jason a flying ride. Not the boat from his dreams. Not yet. There wasn't time to build something that complicated. He needed a quicker solution. He needed a dragon. He hesitated at the edge of the woods, peering into absolute blackness. Owls hooted, and something far away hissed like a chorus of snakes. Leo remembered that Will Solis had told him something. No one should go in the woods alone. Definitely not unarmed. Leo had nothing. No sword, no flashlight, no help. He glanced back at the lights of the cabin. He could turn around now and tell everyone he'd been joking. Psych! Psych! Nisa could go on the quest instead. He could stay at camp and learn to be part of the Hephaestus cabin. But he wondered how long it would be before he looked like his bunkmates. Sad, dejected, convinced of his own bad luck. "They cannot stop me from breaking your spirit," the sleeping woman had said. "Remember this night, little hero, when they ask you to oppose me." "Believe me, lady," Leo muttered. "I remember." "And who even are you?" "I'm gonna faceplant you hard, Leo style." He took a deep breath and plunged into the forest. "I'm gonna faceplant you hard, Leo style." Leo, come on. You're gonna have a chapter like that and end it with "I'm a faceplant you hard, Leo style." Leo, please. Please. I agree. Big lol. Big lol. Man, I forgot that we got that his background is introduced so early in the story. Man. Also, I apologize. I didn't quite have it in me to scream at the top of my lungs. Even though I know that the moment where he yells, "Leave my mother alone," that ought to have been in that kind of desperate, raspy kind of voice that comes only when one hits true desperation. I don't know. I just felt I didn't quite get it to that level. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. I like the voice I'm given to dear lady shrouded in dirt. I think her voice is pretty sick. That kind of apathetic, sleepy villain vibe. It's pretty cool. Thank you, Great Gazoo. I know I'm all good, but it's just those are those kind of moments where I don't know. I either go all in or I don't. And I tend to want to go in, and actually give it the type of scream I feel it deserves, but I don't know. Not after my practice tonight. Oh, snap! Thank you for the reminder. I actually forgot. That chapter got intense enough to the point where I did not remember. Thank you for holding me accountable, yo. This is... focus. Commencing. Book on face. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Wow, wow, wow. Do-do-do. Oh yeah. There's a double. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh me, oh my. I gotta get up then and grab me some books. Give me a moment. Book number 1. Going on. Book number 2. Dum dum. Boom boom. Ta-da. This has been Book on Face. Thank you for joining us for this brief intermission. I pray it was as tranquil for you guys as it was for me. Heck yeah. I appreciate that, guys. I also appreciate you guys not getting too crazy with the Book on Face recently. I know there was that one time where I did 10 whole books placed upon my face. And as much as I'm down to maybe try to beat that record at some point, just know that like on nights when I have practice and stuff, I don't know, I appreciate you guys being chill about it. I'm sorry, Mitch. I have to go. But enjoy the book. It's great. Also, don't forget to smile. I'll I'll keep that in mind, Great Gazoo. Thank you so much for being here as long as you did, or for being here as long as you were. And I'm glad you enjoyed the story. Hope to see you again in a future stream. Pow, pow, pow. Alright, guys. Pew pew. Pew 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 pew. Right back at you. Much love, man. For real. It is a boon to have you. Alright, guys. No, I don't think we're gonna jump to a full break. Cause, well, actually, I don't know. I think we will. I'm gonna do a small break here. Maybe like 5 minutes. I'm gonna go hit the restroom. Be back super duper quick. I'm gonna stretch out a little bit. Oh yeah, break moment. We're gonna switch over to the break screen though. Yeah, we're gonna switch over to the break screen. I encourage everybody to take this moment to use the bathroom, grab any kind of snack-a-lack that you might want to enjoy while listening to the story, or maybe a blanket of some kind, something to allow you to get extra cozy. And we'll be meeting back here in about 5. Till I return, enjoy the music, and heck yeah. Also stretch during the break. Don't forget to stand up. You know the spiel. Alright. Be back real soon, guys. What do I give? How do I live in this life of ours? All I know is that I take plenty from here under the stars. I won't revive, I won't relive. I accept what I've done and I forgive. What do I give? How do I live in this life of ours? All I know is that I take plenty from here under the stars. I won't revive, I won't relive. I accept what I've done and I forgive. What do I give? How do I live in this life of ours? All I know is that I take plenty from here under the stars. I won't revive, I won't relive. I accept what I've done and I forgive. Many mistakes lead me to ravenous haze. Nebulous days lead me to ravenous haze, which will block my gaze. Illusory ways make feelings that don't stay. In and out they face. Is it always that? My tangible wishes are just out of reach. Nebulous days lead me to ravenous haze, which will block my gaze. Illusory ways make feelings that don't stay. In and out they face. Is it always that? My intangible wishes are just out of reach.
やれやれ退屈だと言って何も行動せず刺激を求める割には挑戦しない
Feelings that don't stay. Feelings that don't stay. reasons to stay.
いいかい埼玉市、人生は当てのない旅だよ。新しい景色を見るためには自分で道を切り開くしかないんだ。
Is it always that? Is it always that? My tangible wishes are just out of reach. Are just out of reach. Is it always that? Is it always that? Is it always that? I don't know. Beats me. Alright, how's it going, guys? Welcome back. Pardon me while I hydrate a little. Heck yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little song during the break. Hey, thank you, Justin. And, welcome, App. Heck yeah, dude, it is good to be epic. Yeah, real short break. I know the norm here is that I take about like 10-minute breaks. But I don't know. The stream's going to be a little bit shorter today, or tonight rather. So, I wanted to make it a little bit shorter of a break. Get back into the reading. Yeah, I don't know. Quick as can be. Heck yeah. I don't know. Speaking of which, are you guys ready for story time? Because I believe it is already time to dive back in and see how Leo fares against this great rampaging bronze dragon. Assumedly, he's going out there to tame it. Oh, how? I mean, I know he's I know, immune to fire and all, but how? The sweating emote. It's alright, guys. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Alright. So, without further ado, this is The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. Read by Mary Mitch. 12. Leo. The woods weren't like any place he'd been before. Leo had been raised in a North Houston apartment complex. The wildest things he'd ever seen were that rattlesnake in the cow pasture and his Aunt Rosa in her nightgown, until he was sent to wilderness school. Even there, the school had been in the desert. No trees with gnarled roots to trip over. No streams to fall into. No branches casting dark, creepy shadows. And owls looking down at him with their big reflective eyes. This was the Twilight Zone. This was the Twilight Zone. He stumbled along until he was sure no one back at the cabins could possibly see him. Then he summoned fire. Flames danced along his fingertips, casting enough light to see. He hadn't tried to keep a sustained burn going since he was 5. At the picnic table. Oh, since he was 5. At the picnic table. Since his mom's death, he'd been too afraid to try anything. Even this tiny fire made him feel guilty. He kept walking, looking for dragon-type clues. Giant footprints, trampled trees, swaths of burning forest. Something that big couldn't exactly sneak around, right? But he saw nada. Once he glimpsed a large, furry shape like a wolf or a bear, but it stayed away from his fire, which was fine by Leo. Then, at the bottom of the clearing, he saw the first trap. 100-foot wide crater ringed with boulders. Leo had to admit it was pretty ingenious. In the center of the depression, a metal vat the size of a hot tub had been filled with bubbly dark liquid. Tabasco sauce and motor oil. On a pedestal suspended over the vat, an electric fan rotated in a circle, spreading the fumes across the forest. Could metal dragons smell? The vat seemed to be unguarded, but Leo looked closely, and in the dim light of the stars and his handheld fire, he could see the glint of metal beneath the dirt and leaves. A bronze net lining the entire crater. Or maybe see wasn't the right word. He could sense it there, as if the mechanisms were emitting heat, revealing itself to him. 6 large strips of bronze stretched out from the vat, like the spokes of a wheel. They would be pressure sensitive, Leo guessed. As soon as the dragon stepped on one, the net would spring closed, and voila, one gift-wrapped monster. Leo edged closer. He put his foot on the nearest trigger strip. As he expected, nothing happened. They had to have set the net for something really heavy. Otherwise, they could catch an animal, human, smaller monster, whatever. He doubted there was anything else as heavy as a metal dragon in these woods. At least, he hoped there wasn't. He picked his way down the crater and approached the vat. The fumes were almost overpowering, and his eyes started watering. He remembered a time when Tia Kalita, whatever, had made him chop jalapenos in the kitchen, and he'd gotten the juice in his eyes. Serious pain. But of course she'd been like, "Endure it, little hero. The Aztecs of your mother's homeland used to punish bad children by holding them over a fire filled with chili peppers. They raised many heroes that way." A total psycho, that lady. Leo was so glad he was on a quest. Leo was so glad he was on a quest to rescue her. Tia Kalita would have loved this vat, because it was way worse than jalapeno juice. Leo looked for a trigger, something that would disable the net. He didn't see anything. He had a moment of panic. Nisa had said there were several traps like this in the woods, and they were planning more. What if the dragon had already stepped into another one? How could Leo possibly find them all? He continued to search, but he didn't see any release mechanisms. No large buttons. No large button labeled off. It occurred to him that there might not be one. He started to despair, and then he heard the sound. It was more of a tremor. The deep sort of rumbling you hear in your gut rather than your ears. It gave him the jitters. But he didn't look around for the source. He just kept examining the trap, thinking, must be a long way off. It's pounding its way through the woods. I gotta hurry. Must be a long way off. It's pounding its way through the woods. I gotta hurry. Then he heard a grinding snort, like steam forced out of a metal barrel. His neck tingled. He turned slowly. At the edge of the pit, 50 feet away, 2 glowing red eyes were staring at him. The creature gleamed in the moonlight, and Leo couldn't believe something that huge had snuck up on him so fast. Too late, he realized its gaze was fixed on the fire in his hand, and he extinguished the flames. Oh, right on, May. I'm sorry you're having internet trouble, but I hope to see you towards the end. He could still see the dragon just fine. It was about 60 feet long, snout to tail, its body made of interlocking bronze plates. Its claws were the size of butcher knives, and its mouth was lined with hundreds of dagger-sharp metal teeth. Steam came out of its nostrils. It snarled like a chainsaw cutting through a tree. It could have bitten Leo in half, easy, or stomped him flat. It was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. Except for one problem that completely ruined Leo's plans. You don't have wings. You don't have wings, Leo said. You don't have wings. Sorry. You don't have wings? The dragon's snarl died. It tilted its head as if to say, why aren't you running away in terror? Hey, no offense, Leo said. You're amazing. Good God, who made you? Are you hydraulic or nuclear powered or what? But if it was me, I would have put wings on you. What kind of dragon doesn't have wings? I guess maybe you're too heavy to fly? I should have thought of that. The dragon snorted, more confused now. It was supposed to trample Leo. This conversation thing wasn't part of the plan. He took a step forward, and Leo shouted, No! The dragon snarled again. It's a trap, Bronze Brain, Leo said. They're trying to catch you. Meets dragon, cries on the inside, 'cause no wing. Me too. The dragon opened its mouth and blew fire. A column of white-hot flames billowed over Leo, more than he'd ever tried to endure before. He felt as if he were being hosed down with a powerful, very hot fire hose. It stung a little, but he stood his ground. When the flames died, he was perfectly fine. Even his clothes were okay, which Leo didn't understand, but for which he was grateful. He liked his army jacket, and having his pants seared off would have been pretty embarrassing. The dragon stared at Leo. Its face didn't actually change, being made of metal and all, but Leo thought he could read its expression. Why no crispy critter? A spark flew out of its neck, like it was about to short circuit. You can't burn me, Leo said, trying to sound stern. Oh, whoops. You can't burn me, Leo said, trying to sound stern and calm. He'd never had a dog before, but he talked to the dragon the way he thought you talk to a dog. Stay, boy. Don't come any closer. I don't want you to get caught. See, they think you've broken. They think you're broken and have to be scrapped. But I don't believe that. I can fix you, and if you'll let me. The dragon creaked, roared, and charged. The trap sprang. The floor of the crater erupted with a sound like 1,000 trash can lids banging together. Dirt and leaves flew. Metal. Dirt and leaves flew. The metal net flashing. Leo was knocked off his feet, turned upside down, and doused in Tabasco sauce and oil. He found himself sandwiched between the vat and the dragon as it thrashed, trying to free itself from the net that had wrapped around them both. The dragon blew flames in every direction, lighting up the sky and setting trees on fire. Oil and sauce burned all over them. It didn't hurt Leo, but it left a nasty taste in his mouth. "Will you stop that?" he yelled. "Will you stop that?" The dragon kept squirming. Leo realized he would get crushed if he didn't move. It wasn't easy, but he managed to wriggle out from between the dragon and the vat. He squirmed his way through the net. Fortunately, the holes were plenty big enough for a skinny kid. He ran to the dragon's head. It tried to snap at him, but its teeth were tangled in the mesh. It blew fire again, but seemed to be running out of energy. This time the flames were only orange. They sputtered before they even reached Leo's face. "Listen, man," Leo said. "You're just going to show them where you are. Then they'll come and break out the acid and the metal cutters. Is that what you want?" The dragon's jaw made a creaking sound, like it was trying to talk. "Okay then," Leo said. "You'll have to trust me." And Leo set to work. It took him almost an hour to find the control panel. It was right behind the dragon's head, which made sense. He'd elected to keep the dragon in the net because it was easier to work with the dragon constrained. But the dragon didn't like it. "Hold still," Leo scolded. "Hold still! Come on." The dragon made another creaking sound that might have been a whimper. Leo examined the wires inside the dragon's head. He was distracted by a sound in the woods, but when he looked up, it was just a tree spirit, a dryad. Leo thought they were called that, putting out the flames in her branches. Fortunately, the dragon hadn't started an all-out forest fire, but still, the dryad wasn't too pleased. The girl's dress was smoking. She smothered the flames with a silky blanket, and when she saw Leo looking at her, she made a gesture that was probably very rude in dryad. Then she disappeared in a green poof of mist. Leo returned his attention to the wiring. It was ingenious, definitely, and it made sense to him. This was the motor control relay. This processed sensory input from the eyes. This disc. "Ha! Ha!" he said. "Well, no wonder." the dragon asked with its jaw. You've got a corroded control disc. Probably regulates your higher reasoning circuits, right? Rusty brain, man. No wonder you're a little confused. He almost said crazy, but he caught himself. I wish I had a replacement disc. But, this is a complicated piece of circuitry. I'm gonna have to take it out and clean it. Only be a minute. Only be a minute. He pulled out the disc, and the dragon went absolutely still. The glow died in its eyes. Leo slid off its back and began polishing the disc. He mopped up some oil and Tabasco sauce with his sleeve, which helped cut through the grime. But the more he cleaned, the more concerned he got. Some of the circuits were beyond repair. He could make it better, but not perfect. For that, he'd need a completely new disc, and he had no idea how to build one. He tried to work quickly. He wasn't sure how long the dragon's control disc could be off without damaging it. Maybe forever, but he didn't want to take chances. Once he'd done the best he could, he climbed back up onto the dragon's head and started cleaning the wiring and gearboxes, getting himself filthy in the process. Clean hands, dirty equipment. He muttered something. Oh, clean hands, dirty equipment. He muttered. Something his mother used to say. By the time he was through, his hands were black with grease, and his clothes looked like he'd just lost a mud wrestling contest. But the mechanism looked a lot better. He slipped in the disc, connected the last wire, and sparks flew. The dragon shuddered. Its eyes began to glow. Better? Leo asked. The dragon made a sound like a high-speed drill. It opened its mouth, and all its teeth rotated. I guess that's a yes. Hold on, I'll free you. Hold on, I'll free you. Another 30 minutes to find the release clamps for the net and untangle the dragon. But finally, it stood and shook the last bit of netting off its back. It roared triumphantly and shot fire at the sky. Seriously, Leo said, could you not show off? The dragon asked. You need a name, Leo decided. I'm calling you Festus. The dragon whirred its teeth and grinned. At least, Leo hoped it was a grin. Cool, Leo said. But we still have a problem. Because you don't have wings. Festus tilted his head and snorted steam. Then he lowered his back in an unmistakable gesture. He wanted Leo to climb on. Where are we going? Leo asked. But he was too excited to wait for an answer. He climbed onto the dragon's back, and Festus bounded off into the woods. Leo lost track of time and all sense of direction. It seemed impossible the woods could be so deep and wild, but the dragon traveled until the trees were like skyscrapers, and the canopy of leaves completely blotted out the stars. Even the fire in Leo's hand couldn't have lit the way, but the dragon's glowing red eyes acted like headlights. Finally, they crossed a stream and came to a dead end, a limestone cliff, 100 feet tall, a solid, sheer mass the dragon couldn't possibly climb. Festus stopped at the base and lifted one leg like a dog pointing. What is it? Leo slid to the ground. He walked up to the cliff. Nothing but solid rock. The dragon kept pointing. "It's not going to move out of your way," Leo told him. The loose wire in the dragon's neck sparked, but otherwise, he stayed still. Leo put his hand on the cliff. Suddenly, his fingers smoldered. Lines of fire spread from his fingertips like ignited gunpowder, sizzling across the limestone. The burning lines raced across the cliff face until they had outlined a glowing red door 5 times as tall as Leo. He backed up, and the door swung open, disturbingly silent for such a big slab of rock. "Perfectly balanced," he muttered. "That's some first-rate engineering." The dragon unfroze and marched inside, as if he were coming home. Leo stepped through, and the door began to close. He had a moment of panic, remembering that night in the machine shop long ago, when he'd been locked in. What if he got stuck in here? But then lights flickered on, a combination of electric fluorescence and wall-mounted torches. When Leo saw the cavern, he forgot about leaving. "Festus," he muttered. "What is this place? What is this place?" The dragon stomped to the center of the room, leaving tracks in the thick dust, and curled up on a large circular platform. The cave was the size of an airplane hangar, with endless work tables and storage cages, rows of garage-sized doors along either wall, and staircases that led up to a network of catwalks high above. Equipment was everywhere. Hydraulic lifts, welding torches, hazard suits, air spades, forklifts, plus something that looked suspiciously like a nuclear reaction chamber. Bulletin boards were covered with tattered, faded blueprints, and weapons, armor, shields, war supplies all over the place, a lot of them only partially finished. Hanging from chains far above, the dragon's platform was an old, tattered banner, almost too faded to read. The letters were Greek, but Leo knew, somehow, what they said. Bunker 9. Did that mean 9 as in the Hephaestus cabin? Or 9 as in there were 8 others? Leo looked at Festus, still curled up on the platform, and it occurred to him that the dragon looked so content because it was home. It had probably been built on that pad. "Do the other kids know?" Leo's question died as he asked it. Clearly this place had been abandoned for decades. Cobwebs and dust covered everything. The floor revealed no footprints except for his, and the huge paw prints of the dragon. He was the first one in this bunker since a long time ago. Bunker 9 had been abandoned, with a lot of projects half finished on the tables. Locked up and forgotten. But why? Leo looked at a map on the wall, a battle map of camp, but the paper was a cracked and yellow as onion skin. A date at the bottom read 1864. "No way," he muttered. Then he spotted a blueprint on a nearby bulletin board, and his heart almost leapt out of his throat. He ran to the work table and started up at the white line drawing almost faded beyond recognition. A Greek ship from several different angles. Faintly scrawled words underneath. It read, Prophecy? Unclear. Flight? It was the ship he'd seen in his dreams. The flying ship. Someone had tried to build it here, or at least sketched out the idea. Then it was left, forgotten. A prophecy yet to come. Hey, thank you so much, Miva. I appreciate the follow. OMG. It's, am I saying that right? Miva. Or is it Mava? I appreciate the follow, and I hope you're enjoying the story. And weirdest of all, the ship's masthead was exactly like the one Leo had drawn when he was 5. The head of a dragon. Looks like you, Festus, he murmured. That's creepy. The masthead gave him an uneasy feeling, but Leo's mind spun with too many other questions to think about it for long. He touched the blueprint, hoping he could take it down to study, but the paper crackled at his touch, so he left it alone. He looked around for other clues. No boats, no pieces that looked like parts of this project, but there were so many doors and storerooms to explore. Festus snorted like he was trying to get Leo's attention, reminding him they didn't have all night. It was true. Leo figured it would be morning in a few hours, and he'd gotten completely sidetracked. He'd saved the dragon, but it wasn't going to help him on the quest. He needed something that would fly. Festus nudged something towards him, a leather tool belt that had been left next to his construction pad. Then the dragon switched on his glowing red eye beams and turned them toward the ceiling. Leo looked up, where the spotlights were pointing, and yelped when he recognized the shapes hanging above them in the darkness. Festus? He said in a small voice. We've got work to do. Snap, dude. That's the end of chapter 12. This next chapter is like 4 pages long. So let's go ahead and jump right into the next one. "13. Jason. Jason dreamt of wolves. He stood in a clearing in the middle of a redwood forest. In front of him rose the ruins of a stone mansion. Low, gray clouds blended with the ground fog, and cold rain hung in the air. A pack of large gray beasts milled around him, brushing against his legs, snarling and baring their teeth. They gently nudged him towards the ruins. Jason had no desire to become the world's largest dog biscuit, so he decided to do what they wanted. The ground squelched under his boots as he walked. Stone spires of chimneys, no longer attached to anything, rose up like totem poles. The house must have been enormous. Probably multi-storied with massive log walls and a soaring gable roof. But now, nothing remained of it. But now, nothing remained but its stone skeleton. Jason passed under a crumbling doorway and found himself in a kind of courtyard. Before him was a drained reflecting pool. long and rectangular. Jason couldn't tell how deep it was, because the bottom was filled with mist. A dirt path led all the way around, and the house's uneven walls rose on either side. Wolves paced under the archway of rough, red volcanic stone. At the far end of the pool sat a giant she-wolf, several feet taller than Jason. Her eyes glowed silver in the fog, and her coat was the same color as the rocks, warm, chocolatey red. "I know this place," Jason said. The wolf regarded him. She didn't exactly speak, but Jason could understand her. The movements of her ears and whiskers, and the flash of her eyes, the way she curled her lips, all of these were part of her language. "Of course," the she-wolf said. "You began your journey here as a pup. Now you must find your way back. A new quest. A new start." "That isn't fair," Jason said. But as soon as he spoke, he knew there was no point complaining to the she-wolf. Wolves didn't feel sympathy. They never expected fairness. The wolf said, "Conquer or die. This is always our way." Jason wanted to protest that he couldn't conquer if he didn't know who he was, or where he was supposed to go. But he knew this wolf. Her name was simply Lupa, the mother wolf, the greatest of her kind. Long ago, she'd found him in this place, protected him, nurtured him, chosen him. But if Jason showed weakness, she would tear him to shreds. Rather than being her pup, he would become her dinner. In the wolf pack, weakness was not an option. "Can you guide me?" Jason asked. Lupa made a rumbling noise deep in her throat, and the mist in the pool dissolved. At first, Jason wasn't sure what he was seeing. At opposite ends of the pool, two dark spires had erupted from the cement floor, like the drill bits of some massive tunneling machines boring through the surface. Jason couldn't tell if the spires were made of rock or petrified vines, but they were formed of thick tendrils that came together in a point at the top. Each spire was about 5 feet tall, but they weren't identical. The one closest to Jason was darker, and seemed like a solid mass, its tendrils fused together. As he watched, it pushed a little further out of the earth, and expanded a little wider. On Lupa's end of the pool, the second spire's tendrils were more open, like the bars of a cage. Inside, Jason could vaguely see a misty figure struggling, shifting within its confines. "Error," Jason said. The she-wolf growled in agreement. The other wolves circled the pool, their fur standing up on their backs as they snarled at the spires. "The enemy has chosen this place to awaken her most powerful son, the Giant King," Lupa said. "Our sacred place, where demigods are claimed. The place of death or life. The burned house. The house of the wolf. It is an abomination. You must stop her." "Her?" Jason was confused. "You mean Era?" The she-wolf gnashed her teeth impatiently. "Use your senses, pup!" I care nothing for Juno. But if she falls, our enemy wakes. And that will be the end for us all. You know this place. You can find it again. Cleanse our house. Stop this before it is too late. The dark spire grew slowly larger, like the bulb of some horrible flower. Jason sensed that if it ever opened, it would release something he did not want to meet. Who am I? Jason asked the she-wolf. At least tell me that. Wolves don't have much of a sense of humor, but Jason could tell the question amused Lupa. As if Jason were a cub, just trying out his claws, practicing to be the alpha male. You are our saving grace, as always. You are our saving grace, as always, as always. The she-wolf curled her lip, as if she had just made a clever joke. Do not fail, son of Jupiter. Don't fail her, Jason. The big she-wolf is gonna eat your face. You best watch out. Sorry, at the end there, I realized I wanted to give her like a more Irish or Scottish accent, rather than just my default adult woman voice. Man, oh man. So he knows where it's going down. Apparently at this house, right? The burned house is what Lupa had called it. Phew. Man. Well, they got their transportation. They know where they're going. OMG, bless you. Thank you. Was that because I burped? If so, I do appreciate it. Or are you just saying bless you in general? Because if that's the case, thank you again. Oh, yo. Maeva, don't worry about it. That's, Oh, you already love it here. Well, hey, that is, I don't know. That really warms my heart to hear that. I don't know. I try my best to make this, a welcoming place and something that I don't know, something that I hope will please some of the folks out there. So hey, I don't know. I'm super happy to have you. And yeah, seriously, don't ever worry about interrupting. Even feel free to send messages during the actual reading. Occasionally I'll pause for a moment if I want to respond or if I feel it's appropriate. But you know, I can also see the message and keep on keeping on with the story. But heck yeah, I don't know. I like to think we got a little wholesome community here. I call it the Merry Mitch Meadow. Bow, bow, bow. Merry Mitch Meadow. And we are the wildflowers of said meadow. Heck yeah. I don't know. Might be a little cheesy. No, heck, it's not cheesy. It's beautiful. That's right. At least I sure think so. Oh, P-dubs. P-dubs. Wholesome. No doubt about it. Wholesome, beautiful, kind, loving, splendiferous, splendidly dandy, fantastic, out of this world, the bomb, rad, radical, awesome sauce, epic. These are all the things that this channel is. Need I go on? The list certainly continues, I promise. But heck yeah. Man, we got a couple new folks tonight stopping in. That's, honest to goodness, that's super freaking cool. How long does it take to master a song? Yeah, that can vary. Depends. Normally no longer than like 30 minutes. But that's because I do like, I don't know. I do kind of like a speed mastering. I'm not the best at mastering, so I know like the basics of what to do for it. But it takes about, yeah, like around 30 minutes. Nothing too crazy. The actual mixing though, and like creation of the song, that's the longer process. Is it done then? Pretty much. Yeah, as soon as I master it. Unless I don't know, unless I come across something in it that just has to change. Which is possible. But I don't know, pretty darn happy with it. So I think the mix is in fact done. Whoop whoop. Yeah. Song complete. Success. Way to go, Mitch. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I'm excited for it. And for tomorrow. I think recording will be a fun time. I haven't been out to see a friend in person in a while. And I think it's contributing heavily to my slump I've been in recently. So, I'm praying the plans won't fall through tomorrow. And I'll have a good old time recording some stuff with was it Jafando? I'm gonna tell him about that tomorrow. I want to just greet him with Jafando and act like nothing is wrong, like I've been calling him that for a lifetime. See what he does. My man Jafando. What a great guy. Won't even blink an eye. That'll be sweet. Well, heck yeah. So, tonight we got to learn about Leo's history and kind of what messed him up so badly growing up. We got to find out the reason why he's always running and why he has to constantly be doing something, and why he's always joking, which is something that I feel I certainly can relate to in some regard or another, and I'm sure some of you guys can relate to too. That idea that we either distract ourselves or distract others and in turn distract ourselves from thinking about tragic stuff that happened in the past, or things that are best addressed, whenever they need to be addressed. I'm just saying all this because I think that's one of the most important things to draw from tonight. Because it's a relatable topic. It's a relatable subject. I know some of you guys can't exactly relate to the whole being half human, half God thing. Not everyone is like me. No, I'm just kidding. Not everyone is like me and Jafando. Not everybody can be demigods. So, I want to bring in that other relatable side. Doug Dimmadome? Owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome? When did you get here? Beautiful man. I was lurking in last night's stream and fell asleep. Aw, dude. That is beautiful. Honest to goodness, that's one of my goals here. Not even gonna front. I think that it says below, bedtime stories. Like it's a cool thing if I can read to you guys and help you fall to sleep. Heck, I know I myself put on streams, whether it be like Vine Sauce or an audiobook or something, to help myself fall asleep. So if I can be that source for you guys, that's really cool. So I'm glad you were able to drift off to sleep soundly. Oh, some of you guys. Sparkle. Sparkle. Pow. Pow. I agree, Miva. Also, you never answered my question. Is it Mava or Miva? I joined because it said bedtime stories, but I expect to want to stay awake. Aw, shoot, man. I appreciate that too. For those of you that... Ava, nice. Right on. Or Mava. That's a pretty name. I don't know. Heck, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. It's a pretty name. Mava. OMG, it's me. Mava. Oh, wait! Oh my gosh. P-dubs. I'm a dummy. I'm a dumb. Goodness, my bad. It's not Mava. It's me, Ava. Well, hey, these things happen. I appreciate you guys being patient with me. Oh man, I haven't messed up a name that bad in ages. Whew. Oh man. Mava. I mean, the thing is, I do think that Mava would make for a sick name. Like a rad name. But I completely botched it. My bad. But I got some good giggles out of it. So, can count that as a win. I think that'd be Mava, though. Yeah, I agree. It did sound cute. Heck yeah. Mava. I don't know. It's no Jafando, though. It's no Jafando. I mean, but how are you gonna top a name like that, right? My man is lucky. Dyslexia is rough. Yeah. Maybe I'm dyslexic. What are these glasses even doing? Hello? Hello? Are these things on? Heck, man. Alrighty, guys. Whoa, who is that guy? Oh, shoot. I took off my glasses. Oh my gosh. I know. People do say I look different. Yeah, check this out. Oh, wait. Hello, and welcome. Actually, fun fact, on Saturday nights, it's my horror themed night where we read spooky, scary stories, and I take my glasses off for that night. And there's a bit of a running joke that this is like the anti-Mitch, the anti-Mitch, the malicious Mitch. It's like a Superman Clark Kent type thing. You know it, dude. Except when I take off my glasses, I'm secretly a demigod. Son of, I don't know. Who would I be the son of? Probably probably Hermes. Maybe Aphrodite. Not gonna lie. I feel like I might be enough of a romantic to be Aphrodite's kid. Or maybe one of the lesser gods. Who knows? So how was your night tonight with the bedtime stories? It was good, honestly. I don't know. I was having a bit of a rougher time today, especially with practice. I wound up landing on my ankle funny again, and kind of re-stressing an old injury. So that put a damper on my mood, but coming back home, having a good dinner, starting up the stream, and running into so many lovely folks, you know, both old and new. It's been a really nice time. And we had some killer chapters tonight. Nothing, I'd say the following two weren't anything too crazy, but the first one especially, it was powerful. I mean, it was the backstory of, you know, of why Leo is the way he is. You know, it told the story of how he lost his mom, and how he believes it to be his own fault. Yeah, I don't know, it was a pretty tough chapter, pretty emotional. But I'm all about those chapters that bring on the feels. Leo is my favorite character. He's so good, man. Honest to goodness, like I stress out most when I come to his lines, because he's one of my favorite characters too, and I don't want to, I don't know, I want to do his lines justice, you know. I'm still trying to figure out like his accent, but I think I'm starting to get a little more comfortable with it, at least. Starting to, at least. But I love him too. He's a beautiful character. Can't wait for you to finish the book so I can understand a new one. Lol. Can and understand a new one. Oh, because you've already read The Lost Hero? Or am I misunderstanding? Yeah, I'm excited. I have book 2 and 3. Dude, the story of finding book 3, The Mark of Athena, was wild. I was visiting my folks, right? And I came into like my dad's office just to like tell him something. I was visiting with them. Came in. I was like, "Oh, I was actually saying goodbye because I was heading back home." And I stopped for a moment because he was in a call. I look over at the bookshelf, like in his office, because I don't know. I was waiting for him to get done, so I saw books, and of course was like, "Ah, yes, books." So I started sorting through them to like see if there was anything interesting to me. But my dad, like after he was finished up and we said like, I told him I was getting going, he saw me looking at the books and was like, "Hey, son. Hello there, son. You are looking for book, yes?" And I was like, I was just browsing. He was like, "No, we got to find you this book. What book are you looking for?" And I was like, "Dad, I was serious. I was just browsing." But he was like, "No, no, 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 no. Let's take a look around. Let's look a little more thoroughly." And we and we start this fairly thorough search, but almost immediately, my dad just happens to look in this one specific spot that has been holding the Mark of Athena hostage for ages. I had no idea it was there. It was tucked in like a very odd and weird corner. I figured that that book would be in my room, like my old room, where all my like, childhood books are. But it was just tucked away somewhere. Whenever he found that, I flipped my lid. Was super freaking hype. I'm not even joking. I had quite the smile on my face when he pulled it out. It was such a shock, man. Such a surprise. "Oh, no, because I joined your channel in the middle of this book and don't understand what is happening." Ah, yes. But I read the first 3 and they were great. Well, I never finished the third one, but I will one day. Of the Heroes of Olympus series or the Percy Jackson books? No! Ava, no! You got the House of Hades taken away because of the cover art? You just gotta get the hard cover, and then take the art off. That way it looks clean and sleek. Nothing PG-13 about it. Maybe some PG-13. Maybe a lot of PG-13, but no R-rated stuff, right? It was the hardcover. Yeah, but it had the art like in like a plastic sleeve, right? Got that thing back years ago. Heck yeah, man. Yeah, this book I got so long ago. I think I remarked on it in a different stream, but the Percy Jackson books I bought a long time ago, or not a long time ago, but fairly recently, like this year. Okay, man, I gotta go. Catch you next time. Really great reading. Very impressed. Thank you, Justin. That's quite the compliment. I feel my cheeks going flush. I appreciate that, man. And I hope to see you in the next one. We'll be reading a few more chapters tomorrow, if you want to stop on by. And yeah, I hope you sleep tight. And hope you wake up with a smile. But yeah, man, this book has been with me for a long time. I bought the Percy Jackson books this year in their hardcover form because I wanted the whole collection hardcover style. I had a couple of the books in paperback, but I wanted all of them hardcover. Oh snap. Yeah, I'd be Apollo. Hands down. Hands down. Shoot, dude. Now that I'm thinking about it, especially like the Apollo that's in like the Percy Jackson books, or the way I portrayed him. Yeah. Yep. Cause I have a tendency for dramatics, making my voice do silly things for the entertainment of others. Mitch equals Apollo's son. I don't doubt it, man. That makes a whole lot of sense. I didn't even think about that. And heck, I'd be honored to be Apollo's son. I don't know. Don't know if he could match my dad, though. The dad that I already got. I love you, Dad. I don't know. Sometimes we see Mary Pops in the stream, but I don't think he's here tonight. But he, I've seen him pop up a couple of times. It's the sweetest darn thing, man. Okay, guys. I think I'm gonna sign off. At Mary Pops. He goes by a different name, but if he shows up and you're here, you'll know. I like how the channel points are called words, and it says how to earn words. I'm just like, I speak? It's true. I think being active in the chat allots you more words. The more words you use, the more words you gain. But heck yeah, I like that they're called that too. I thought about making them just like Mary Coin, or like Mary Money. But I don't know. I wanted to have it be just like something related to literature. And words seemed like the thing to do. I have 1.2 thousand words. Holy heck, man. I forget even what all the rewards are. Yeah, book on face is 1500. It's gonna stay that way, and if anything, it'll go up eventually, I think. But yeah, and then the higher up ones are read this now, please, and guide the Merry Brigade. Yeah. Indeed, it's 3K, but I believe the way that one works is if you have something that you really, really want me to read, you can cash that in, and I gotta read it, like in that moment. However, take it with a grain of salt, right? It says, read this now, please. Meaning it is a question. And if I need to refuse it, or if it's not appropriate or something like that, I do give myself the right to say, I apologize, not this time. You know? But hey, I don't know. I leave that up there in case like people really, really want me to read something during a stream. Have the points. Can throw it out there and get that request right up front. Yep. Someone said the B movie script. I won't say any names, somebody did suggest the B-movie script. And as much as I'm down to do that, I know it was you. Listen, and I'm down to do the B-movie script, but it's one of those things that I'd want to take a Thursday for. Thursdays are my day to do like a special event type of thing. So I may take a Thursday to do that, but I don't think it's something that I'll stop in the middle of the stream to switch to. Thank you, P-Dubs. It's a valuable resource that I encourage everybody go and check out at some point. Won't make you take a whole day. Actually, I don't know how long it would take to read through it. My trouble is I don't know how entertaining it would be, you know? I think it would be fun, but I would want to, I feel like I would want to get like one of my buddies on the stream with me to play some of the other characters. At least that's the way that I would stay most engaged. I'm down to maybe do that though. To ask Coleman if he's down for another wacky adventure on the Merry Mitch channel. Hey, Fish, Facts, and War. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Don't know how long you've been here, but in case you don't know, I am Merry Mitch, and in order to practice my voice acting, I read short stories and books. On the weekdays, I do bedtime stories, where we're reading through a one, The Lost Hero. We just finished the Percy Jackson series, so we're moving it through. Fun fact, you can catfish with soap. Oh, you can catch catfish with soap. I was very confused. I was like, how do you catfish with soap? Like, you make soap your profile picture and lead someone to believe that you are in fact soap. The ultimate soap catfish. You can catch catfish with just your hand. Sure enough. Mekong catfish are huge. It's like King Kong almost. Mekong, King Kong. Big catfish. Dude, catfish can get massive. Fun fact, you can catfish with anything if you try hard enough. Called noodling. You just stick your hand in... Excuse me. The King Tiger was a formidable tank. Huh, snap. Well, hey, thank you for bringing fish facts to the end of the stream here. I appreciate that. You know, I think everybody could use a good fish fact every once in a while. Don't know what the war is about though. You know, fish are good stuff. War? What is it good for? You know, absolutely nothing. The Stuka was the most feared dive bomber. Ah, facts about war. My bad. War is good for Aries. You make a good argument. Not gonna lie. I see now. You got facts about war too. That I can get down with. It's important to learn from the previous wars so that we don't do the wars again. Armored catfish. what is a invasive species in Florida? Catfish are going to war. I knew it. I knew it, guys. I got facts about holes and wars. Just call me the whole war. You are all the war. All the war. Okay, guys. I've stayed on longer than I intended. So, it is time for me to bid you all adieu. Again, thank you all for being here. I love you to the moon and back. And yeah, thanks for bringing me some giggles and some laughs and some enjoyable time. And I hope to see you tomorrow for some more some more The Lost Hero, yet another bedtime story. I'm looking forward to it. We'll figure out what it is that Leo found in Bunker 9. We will see if Jason, winds up finding this burned house that he saw in his dreams. I'm looking forward to it. Have a great night. I had a fun time tonight, and hope you did too. And tomorrow, I will be at the reading. Heck yeah, Doug Dimmadome. And Ava, I'm so glad you like it. Alright, hit me with that outro music, please. Ba-blam. As always, guys, take the merriment that we were able to find together tonight. Hold it close to your heart. Let it set you at ease as you lay your head on your pillow tonight. And let it flourish into the next day. Thanks for being here. And till next time, keep on swaying, wildflowers. Peace out. See you guys. Much love.